So lately we've seen that wholesale prices have gone down in a pretty big way. So I bought quite a few of these newer cars to sell myself. So later on in this video, I'm going to be able to tell you exactly what I paid for these cars, what we're planning on doing with them, how much we're going to sell them for, the repairs that I have in them, all of that. See, what we're trying to do is we're trying to add a level of transparency to car sales. And really what this market has allowed me to do is that since prices have come down so much, these are vehicles that I wouldn't have touched 6 months ago because I wouldn't have felt like I've been able to buy them for a price that I feel like I'd be able to sell them to a consumer for a reasonable price. But since prices have come down, we're taking on a new project. See, usually what I would buy is stuff that's up there on the hill. We've got a bunch of cars back there, but they're cars that I sell for $5,000 and under. But I have a lot of people that come to me and say, okay, well, I don't want to buy a $5,000 car. I want to buy something that's a little bit nicer. I want to buy some Hondas, some Toyota Camrys that are still under warranty or whatever, a couple years old. So, you know what? Because prices have gone down the way that they have, we're going to try it. So we actually teamed up with Car Edge and we bought a few cars. We've got a couple HRVs. We got a Toyota Camry back there. It's a 2022 that we're going to end up selling. Yep, drop some coolant. That we're going to end up selling through them. And really what we want to do is change the way that people are buying cars. So our idea is for me to go buy these cars, to list literally what I pay for them at auction, list my auction fees. I'm going to show all the repairs. We're going to show anything that I have in the car. We're actually going to list it. I'm going to list the profit that I actually make on the car. We're going to list the profit that Car Edge is going to make on the car for just putting consumer with the vehicle. And we want to be as transparent as possible. My goal is to be the most transparent car dealer on the planet, and that's what we're doing with these cars. We're starting very small, and if it takes off, if people actually like this level of transparency, then we're going to continue to try to grow. So what I'll do is I'll go through some of these cars that I just bought and really tell you what my thoughts are when I'm going to these auctions and actually buying these cars. So the three that we're starting with, well, I bought four to start with, but this one's a Honda Civic, and I'll show you. I have actually got to get some work done, and I've had it for a few weeks, but because of the CDK outage, a lot of the dealer software that was down for a while, it's actually taken me a long time. I've got to replace the bumper. When I went to go buy this car, I thought it was only going to be a few clips. I thought it was going to be an easy fix or whatever, because I was seeing like all of this. I was seeing this on this side over here and seeing this right here, so I thought we were going to be able to easily fix it. But I didn't notice all of this here. So we're actually going to have to get a whole new bumper. We're going to have to get it painted, everything like that. So that's something that I'm going to have to deal with, and it's not quick. So we're trying to launch with 4 cars, but it ends up only being 3. So I've got this HRV right here, got an HRV right there, and I've got this Toyota Camry. So what I'm looking for when I'm thinking about this project, what I'm trying to do is I want to buy cars that are still under manufacturer warranty, because we're going to be probably shipping out some of these cars. Some people will come here and actually buy them after they fill out the onboarding thing. But I think a lot of the cars that we actually sell through Car Edge is going to be shipped out. So when we ship them out, I want to make sure that that customer is taken care of, even if they're 500 miles from where I am. So the way that I can do that is by buying cars that are still under manufacturer warranty. So I know that Honda, for these HRVs, it's going to be 5 years and 50,000 miles powertrain warranty, and then the Toyota, it's 6 years, 60,000 miles on the warranty for that. So I just want there never to be a situation where we sell one of these cars and then a couple months down the road something major happened to this car and it's not able to be taken care of. And in this case, as long as I set kind of my guidelines of making sure there's some kind of warranty on these cars, then they can still take it to Toyota, they can still take it to Honda to be able to get that taken care of. It's very important to me. But anyway, so that's really my criteria when I'm going in and buying these cars. And I'll give you an example of this one right here. So this one is a 2022 HRV, and it's got right at 30,000 miles on it. It might be a hair less. I can't actually remember the exact miles, but that's what I'm looking at when I'm trying to buy these cars. Actually, this was an interesting story on this HRV here. When I went to go buy it, it was pretty dirty. So it had dog hair stuff in it. We got all that detailed out, but because it was dirtier, we were actually able to get a really good deal on it. I bid it off at like, I think it was like $16,000. I don't know, something. It seemed like a really good deal at the time, and actually bought the gray one for a lot more than that before, right at the same auction. So I saw this black one coming through. Wasn't planning on buying a second one, but it was going for so cheap, so I raised my hand. I was the only bidder. Turns out that I didn't bid it high enough to meet the seller's reserve. So they put it on what's called an if bid, and that means they just get up with me after the auction, say, okay, we needed this amount, but you only bid up to this, so there's some negotiation that happens, and if you can come up on your number, then maybe we'll sell it to you. Anyway, we got to, I got to pay more for the car. It was still less than what I was anticipating I was going to pay for it, so I really think I got a good deal. So here lies maybe a really good thing for this project and a bad thing, because what I'm planning on doing is the amount of money that I'm going to make is going to be a set amount. And the set amount that I've decided on, and I wish there was more math behind this, but there's not, is $3,000. So if I go in and steal a car like I feel like I stole this black HRV for, then the customer that I'm selling to is going to be able to steal it. But let's say, okay, maybe I pay too much for the car. Hopefully I'm not going to do that, because I feel like I'm going to do a good job knowing my numbers before I actually buy the car. But if I buy it wrong, then we're going to have to post it for a little bit more than what I would want to. So that's a negative about this, but also a positive. So it's going to depend really on how I buy the cars, and that's going to be probably the make or break of if this is going to be successful or not, is on my ability to be able to buy the cars right. And then if the customer wants that transparency, then on the ones that maybe I buy wrong, maybe they're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for that. I don't want that to be the case, so I'm not trying to buy these cars wrong. I'm trying to buy them right, but this is all just a test, and we're gonna find out and see what happens. So one other problem that I see that could happen with these cars is that, okay, let's go back to this HRV, and I think we're, at the end of the day, the last price on the thing, out the door, everything's like a little over $20,000. It might be like $20,500 or something. I can't remember exactly what the price is. But another car dealer that is going to advertise this same car, let's say they have the same amount that I have in this car. They probably don't, because I think I paid a good price for it. But let's say they have exactly what I have in this car. In it themselves, then instead of them listing it at that $20,500 or whatever we're selling it for, they're going to actually list it at like $19,000. But when you go to the dealership, you're going to have $3,000 worth of add-ons, dock fee, stuff like that. We're not even charging a dock fee through any of this. You're going to see exactly all the fees listed out. But my worry is that, okay, a consumer that's looking at these cars online and seeing the full price is going to say, okay, well, these cars are more expensive because I look at these dealership that's near me and it's showing that it's $2,000 cheaper. But if that customer doesn't do the legwork and actually go to the dealership, they're not going to be aware that, okay, at the end of the day, our cars are actually cheaper because that dealer's wanting to charge a $3,000, $4,000 add-on package. I can give you an example of this. So recently I have wanted to buy a Model S. I've been trying to find one, a Tesla. And I saw one with really, really high mileage, and it was only like $13,000 at a dealership. And I would not recommend buying a really high mileage Tesla. I wanted to buy it for content. I wanted to see how a used one held up, whatever. This was my goal, and this was the perfect one because I could buy it relatively cheaply, and whatever, I'm going to make content, it'll pay for itself. And even if it's bad, okay, that just makes better videos, right? Because we can show the problems of a high mileage Tesla. Beside the point, anyway, $13,000 advertised. I went to the dealership. Let's take a step back. I called the dealership and said, you know what, I know you've got fees, whatever, just let me know what they are. The salesperson wouldn't even let me know what the fees were over the phone. It even got to the point, I asked him like 5 or 6 times, would never let me know. I just said, please, dude, I'm begging you, just please give me numbers on this car so I can know what I'm getting into before I get there. And he just really, at the last part of the conversation, because he knew I wasn't gonna let up, said, look, if I tell you how much our fees are before you come in here, I can lose my job. They will not allow me to do that. And the reason they do that is because they know that the customer is just not going to show up because their fees are just absolutely insane. I said, okay, you know what? I'll play ball, whatever. I'll come there. It's for content. If it's ridiculous, whatever. If I don't buy the car, I've got this story and I can use that for a video, right? So anyway, got to that dealership, and that $13,000 car instantly turned into an $18,000 car because of all the markups, because of all the BS that they wanted to add onto it. And on top of that, the car wasn't even charged. They were rude. It was a terrible experience. Anyway, this needs to be changed. This is what we're trying to do by partnering with CarEdge to be able to show a level of transparency. But just to go back to one challenge that we're going to have with this is that these other car dealers, they advertise their cars for way less, it seems, on the internet, but guess what? When you get there, that's not what the actual price of the car is. So we're going to have to trust the consumer to understand that yes, these cars are reasonably priced. They are in most cases going to be cheaper than what you can find at other dealerships, but it's not going to look like that online. So that's one of the hurdles that we're going to have to trust our consumer on, and that might be something that we can't overcome. But I'm not willing to sink to a level where, okay, we're going to advertise something for less than what we're actually going to sell. Even on the cars that I sell up here at my shop, I mean, the prices that I sell them for, if you see a $4,000 car, if you see a $3,500 car on my lot, that's literally what you're paying for that car. And then there's no dock fee on the stuff that we're selling for under $5,000. There's tax, title, and stuff that you're paying in North Carolina, but I'm a dealer in North Carolina, but that's literally all my customer is paying, and all of that the extra fees that come from our government in North Carolina, that's not money that I get to keep. So that $4,000 that's on my car up there, that $3,500 that's on my car up there, that's literally the money that I'm taking in, and anything other than that is going to pay for taxes and tag and stuff like that. So on a $3,500 car, I think it's like $150 extra that North Carolina is getting to get the car registered. But so that's one of our big hurdles. Another big hurdle that I think that we're going to experience with this project is financing. I don't like debt, so we're not offering any financing or anything like this. So it's going to be up to the consumer to be able to get their own financing. So I think that's going to be another hurdle for this project. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're doing. But transparency is what we're trying to achieve with this, and we're hoping it's successful, and we're hoping that the consumer wants this level of transparency, and it makes sense to the consumer on the other side. But if you want to look at cars just like this and see what I have in them, even if you're not interested, you can actually see what I paid for the car. You can see what I've done to the car, how much we're selling it for, how much I'm making on the car. You can see all of that, and all you have to do is go to CarEdge/CQA, and we'll put a link for that in the description below, just so you can check it out. And put down in the comments what you think about this, what you think about what I'm making on the cars. So I mean, roughly I'm trying to aim to buy cars that are around like the $20,000 range, what I have to invest in it, like that. Camry, we had more in it. It's like 23,000, I think. It's what I've got in it. But I'm aiming around that $20,000 range, and I feel like that $3,000 that I'm going to make on the car seems fair in my head. $2,000 seemed like not enough for this level of investment, and $4,000 for whatever reason just felt too high. So there's not a lot of math that I put behind this. It's just kind of a gut thing. So anyway, we're trying it. We're going to see what happens. We're going to let the market tell us what they want.